Since Biden took office, prices for essentials have risen 18%. The old saying is, stranger things have happened, but that will not cut it in next November's election. Back after this. If you thought booking your timeshare was difficult before, you know it's almost impossible now. For more than a decade, Lone Star Transfer has helped thousands of owners legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. For free, no-obligation consultation, please call 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Wow. Sorry.
Wow.
Cow. Good morning, freedom lovers. Sorry. We had a little mic switcheroonie today because we had some problems, so I apologize for that little burst of stupidity there a couple seconds ago.
Our burst of volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny, how are you?
Good, Vic. How are you?
I am well, thank you very much. So with all the chaos that's happened here in this place in the last 20 minutes or so, half an hour or so, I'm way behind on my coffee sips.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That you can't have
bad news for you.
There are a lot of things you can be behind in here, not the coffee.
So does this mic sound different? Does this mic sound better?
A little better, yeah.
Maybe we should use this mic all the time.
Maybe you should, because
so Kevin doesn't get upset.
And he, by the way, he responded. He said, "Thank you for addressing that."
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we want you to know that we care about you.
And that's it. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
What were you going to say? Interrupted you.
Forgot. No,
Sorry.
I'm kidding. No, the microphone. It's a lot hotter, so we're good.
We should just use this for other days.
Sure. Until we get to our new studio.
Right. Or until a guest comes in, then it's going to be like spaghetti.
Right.
Microphones. All right. Big show today, Wednesday, middle of the week. This kid who went to a Kansas City Chiefs game dressed as any NFL fan would do, really.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers fans, half their face is green and the other half is yellow.
What do they do when the Raiders? I guess the Las Vegas Raiders now.
Yeah.
Well, they're all black.
That's right.
Pretty much.
That's
silver
right.
and black. So
that's right.
What are they going to do?
Silver on one side, black on the other side. I
okay,
guess.
So then robots and blacks are going to be pissed off, I guess.
It's going to be bad. Robots are going to be mad. They're going to be protesting because they're robotist. But anyway, this kid goes to the game, and now this magazine called Deadspin made fun of him. And not just made fun of him, but accused this little kid of being a racist.
Yeah, what was his name? Karen?
The guy who wrote is Karen. Carron. Nick Schroer said this is the female Karen.
The female Karen.
Yeah. We'll talk about that
right off the bat. The male Karen, whatever. Yeah.
The bee or not the bee coming up at 9:25 today. Mike Hill is going to join us from the National Center for Public Policy Research. The topic will be the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Because if you remember, Atlanta got screwed on the All-Star Game because of their voter laws.
Yes.
Which after further study, there was nothing wrong with the voter laws. More people voted after they were bitching about it than before they were.
You talk about feigned virtue and virtue signaling, yeah. Vic. This is what happened. And I remember it because it didn't take investigation. All it had to do was opening a piece of paper and reading it.
Is that right?
That's all it was, because it turns out there were stricter voting regulations in New York and Washington, D.C. than there were in Atlanta. But they wanted to do this because the MLB, this is why I stopped watching the MLB, because they pulled this crap on people. There were 80% blacks in Atlanta and 80% whites in Colorado, and they switched it to Colorado and actually hurt 80% of the blacks that were in Atlanta.
And the businesses in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. So that's at 9:41. Speaker Tim Jones at 10:05. Kate Uptergrove from West News Magazine and Mid Rivers News Magazine at 10:25. And the Vice Chair, Mr. Mark Harder, at 10:41. All right, Ken, I guess I got to stand up. Okay. Not that I'm disrespecting the flag. I'm just disrespecting my own fat ass. Who is leading us today, Kenny?
Yes, from STL Fence Works, Sean Long.
Oh, we like Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Hi, this is Sean Long with STL Fence Works.
We know.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Love how everybody's got their own way of doing the pledge, you know. Sean has like a documentary voiceover kind of way,
like the
know.
cadence and the.
It's not like he's reciting, and I think that's great because it's not like he's just reciting some words that he memorized. He's telling you, you know, one nation under God. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like that. Can we get Morgan Freeman to do it for us?
Oh, I love that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Okay, so I don't even know this kid's name. Is this kid's name been released? The football kid?
I don't know.
I don't think it has, which is
question.
fine.
That's fine, yeah.
He's a minor, so let's not get his name all mixed up into all this. So this kid is, how old does he look to you, Ken?
To me, it looks like he's about 11,
Okay.
12.
So he goes to and I believe this game wasn't even in Kansas City.
I don't think it was.
Okay.
Because they're from California, I believe.
Okay. So they go to the game, they're Chiefs fans, and the kid dresses up in a headdress, you know, Native American headdress, and his face is painted half black and half red because those are the colors of the Kansas City Chiefs, right?
Right.
I mean, you go to any football game on any Sunday and you will see somebody with the face painted in the colors of the team that they're rooting for. It just happens every single Sunday.
We've done it when the Rams were in the year that they won the
Super Bowl.
I forgot. we painted our faces up like that for them.
When you say we,
when I'm saying the River, when we were doing those events downtown, the River radio station, we all painted our faces.
okay, I guarantee I never did that.
No, you may not have, but I mean we did because I was nutty then.
Huh. I did not do that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not going to put paint on my face. Anyway, so this kid goes to the game, and the kid is so innocent is the best word to talk about it. The kid is just an innocent, fervent football fan.
That's it.
And so this magazine called Deadspin, which throughout the years, they have just the worst journalism. Are they a sports-related magazine? Because I remember them doing a article about the Cardinals.
Okay.
A negative article about the Cardinals. And I remember I wrote this long thing writing back to him. And we read it on the air. You know, I put it up on Facebook or whatever. And so my point is they just aggravate the
Stuff
out of me for a long time. So this guy's name is Karen. I don't even remember what his last name is, the guy who wrote it. But he said that the NFL needs to answer about this kid in blackface. This kid doesn't even know what blackface is.
right.
And when I say that, I don't mean just that he doesn't know what the ramifications are and why black people are so offended by blackface. I don't even think he knows who Al Jolson was or anybody who has done blackface, you know, in entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and before this guy made his investigative remarks, he should have investigated because the kid and his family are actually Native American in heritage.
So who are you to say that I'm being culturally inappropriate when it's my own culture?
Right.
Okay. So I didn't know that, Ken. That's great information. So they said that, yeah, the NFL needs to do something about this to punish the Chiefs or punish the NFL because this kid had blackface and calling the kid a racist. And then that guy, Karen, who Nick Schroer says is the new male Karen. This guy's name is spelled Carron. And it was just great. I mean, you know, Nick's on it. So, so obviously the league or the team is not going to do anything to this kid, right?
They better not. I mean, you talk about upheaval of opinion.
I know where you were going there.
Yeah, it was somewhere else. No, but if they do that, if they do something to that poor kid, I guarantee. Well, I think the kid should be investigating who did that, and maybe even some litigation should take place somewhere. I'm not pushing it for it, but I think he should. I just think he should.
You're not thunderstealing or anything. You're just saying.
Am I?
That the kid should probably do some kind of litigate. Like, you didn't think that was going to go there? Like, because it's funny. Yesterday on The Five, which is still a great show, by the way. I know you hate Fox. It's a great show.
Yeah.
You got Greg Gutfeld. You got Dana Perino. You got Jesse Waters, a lib in the next seat, and then Judge Gene Pirro all the way on the left. And they brought this up yesterday. And, I guess the point of the whole discussion was he's a kid,
Yeah.
And, okay, so let's move on to the litigation part of it. What they were doing was saying they haven't learned their lesson from the Covington kids.
No.
Not that Deadspin, I don't think, was involved in that or involved in any of the lawsuits by Nick Sandmann, but the broadcast media certainly were,
Right.
And I don't know if the broadcast media reacted like Deadspin did, because they might have learned their lesson. Like, hey, we already lost $500 million, accusing kids. So if you remember, Nick Sandmann was with this Covington High School bunch of kids who were in D.C., I don't know, to see one of the monuments or one of the buildings.
They're just on a field trip, basically.
A field trip, exactly, field trip. They had a field trip permission slip, and then they went on this field trip. And Nick was wearing a Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about. Just wearing a hat right now offends people because they're so, I don't know what the word is. So this Indian guy's banging his drum right in Nick Sandmann's face. Nick Sandmann never threatened him, never even said anything to him, just sat there and smiled. And media went crazy solely because he was wearing a Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah.
It's the only reason.
How despicable is that, Vic?
It's so despicable.
I mean, we can
because-
go down that rabbit hole. That's horrible in and of itself.
I mean, I could make a hat that's offensive. You want an offensive hat? I'll make an offensive hat.
Yeah.
And I'll offend you. But Make America Great Again is not offensive. It's not racist. And, that's one of the talking points and one of the narratives that the Republican Party has to deal with right now.
Yeah.
That MAGA, the word MAGA is not a bad word. We talked about how they call us MAGA extremists all the time. We have to get that narrative back on the side of that MAGA is a good thing. It's Make America Great Again.
Exactly right. And that's, I think, the problem with conservatives tends to be when the left tries to create a narrative, they do it all the time. They'll say, oh, those extreme radical MAGA people. Then everybody else parrots that. And that's why they create that narrative. We don't push back at all.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And what about the little kid when he wore the black and the red? You know what? Everybody should wear black and red now.
Oh.
I just
Thunderstole again.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You don't know. You didn't know. You didn't.
Thunderstealer.
You didn't know this part. It's okay. But now there's a movement for the next Kansas City Chiefs home game for everybody in the crowd to wear half red, half black paint.
Amen.
Yeah. So I think that's great in support of this kid. But can I get back to the MAGA thing for a second? Because, we talk about this all the time, how Republicans can't carry a narrative. We can't hold a narrative and get it to catch on. And granted, we have a lot against us because of all the left-wing media is going against it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And, I think this kid should sue Deadspin for a bunch of money. I don't know how much money Deadspin is worth. Probably not a lot.
He should own it. And
he should own it, exactly.
It's a message. It's a message that they need to send out to these people. You've always said, Vic, we've said this forever, that how do we get the yellow journalism out of journalism? How do we get these journalists to just report?
Right.
And there's nothing we can do. Well, this is one thing you can do.
Yeah.
Take their money away.
Yeah. And Deadspin is, I mean, the funny thing about it is that they're so insignificant,
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to deadspin.com?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know about Deadspin.
There you go.
At
There
all.
you go.
But I think that's an encouraging thing, because if it was, you can understand why the news would get big because of Newsweek reporting it, say, but because this little whatever it is did it, and yet we're still punching back as hard as we are. I think that's encouraging.
Part of this, I believe, is to get Deadspin attention. Why he did it was to get Deadspin attention, because now you know about it.
Right.
You didn't know about it until this incident, and now you know about it.
Well, then they don't have any more money, but I know about it at least.
But that's part of the elitist egocentrism. You see, he's a kid's in blackface. He must be a racist. That's the narrative the left will push. That's part of their plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just laughed because somebody put up Justin Trudeau has come out as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and they have that picture of him in blackface.
Yeah.
They photoshopped that on a fan with wearing a Kelsey uniform and a headdress.
That's great.
Now he's a Chiefs fan. So anyway, I hope the kid makes a lot of money. We were going to talk about the other thing with the rapper whose bodyguards beat the crap out of somebody. The kid's brain is bleeding now. But look at that, Ken. We're out of time.
Okay.
We'll have to get to that later. Don't me, okay? I don't need you to me. You know what? We can talk about it maybe with Mike Hill. Oh,
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
it does. This is Jessica by the Allman Brothers Band. Ken played for my wife. Coming up at 10:41 today, the Vice Chair of the St. Louis County Council, Mark Harder, Kate Uptergrove, Managing Editor of West Newsmagazine and Mid-Rivers Newsmagazine at 10:25. Speaker Tim Jones. There you go. We'll talk to Speaker Tim Jones about all this. And 9:41, Mike Hill from the National Center for Public Policy Research. And up next, it's The Bee or Not The Bee on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. Morning, Jessica.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
45, President Donald Trump.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. This is 101.9 and 94.1.
Female millennial Trump supporter. I listen to it like every day. Like, seriously, you get it.
News Talk STL.
You want to give a unique gift this holiday? I suggest Stolac Whiskey, produced in Missouri. Stolac Whiskey, born of natural limestone filtered water from the Ozark Highlands, aged in Missouri oak. Stolac, so smooth. Trust me, you're going to enjoy it. So next time, ask for Stolac. Visit the website, stolac.com. Stolac, Stowloch, from Stone Ledge Distillery.
Is your family prepared for the financial burden of losing a loved one?
Are you aware of the cost of a funeral?
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial could help you qualify for lifetime permanent final expense insurance coverage with no medical exam required.
Just answer a few health questions, and once accepted, your rates never increase.
Do you have diabetes? High blood pressure?
Have you had a heart attack? A stroke?
No problem.
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial can help protect your legacy.
Call or text 314-866-8886. That's 314-866-8886.
To learn more about permanent lifetime final expense insurance coverage.
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial could help you qualify for immediate coverage by answering just a few health questions.
Call or text 314-866-8886. Or learn more at memorialplans.com. That's memorialplans.com.
Policies underwritten by Senior Life Insurance Company, not available in all states.
This National Center for Public Policy update brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
You're funny. Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I make you laugh. What do you mean funny?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Good morning. Welcome home to 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. All of our shows, by the way, are up on the podcast platforms. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Podcast platforms all over. Wherever you listen to podcasts, go there, put in News Talk STL or even Vic or Ken, and you'll be able to find our show. And I urge you to watch the stream because there's some funny stuff going on in here, even when we're not on the air, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what happened that you'll be able to see if you watch the stream, right? We have our contestant ready for the Be or Not the Be. Ken got a call from somebody who wanted to know where we were, right? Where'd you move to? Ken's like, well, we moved to West County. West County. The word is county. So that was that. Then we had to get the contestant on for the Be or Not the Be. He gets him on the phone. Call gets cut off, right? Contestant calls back. Meanwhile, Moving in Stereo by the Cars is already playing, right? Already about 10, 20 seconds into the song. And then Ken puts the contestant on hold, comes back, plays something over Moving in Stereo, and hits the post, and then hits the next post. To see that in action, you got to watch the stream. Ken, I was sitting here just going, wow, this guy's really good. You can stay.
And I'm sweating.
Are you okay?
I'm all right. No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Are we ready to roll?
We are.
All right. It is time for the Be or Not the Be.
How's that? Is that good? Is that B enough for you?
The Be or Not the Be.
All right. Just to explain, the Be or Not the Be is a game that Paul Kurtman, the great Paul Kurtman, invented and did on his Saturday afternoon show here on News Talk STL. Paul has now moved to Florida, the Freedom State, and he's not here anymore. So meanwhile, in his absence, somebody here in town tried to steal the game of the Be or Not the Be.
Yeah.
Okay? And Paul was incensed about this. He was so mad.
It was like a little baby.
Of course it's his baby. So he calls Ken, and he says, hey, man, somebody stole the Be or Not the Be. So can you guys do it? He specifically asked for you and I to continue on the tradition of the Be or Not the Be.
And we have to say that you didn't want to do it because you, out of respect for Paul, we're going to let it go.
Right.
Even though as much as you wanted to do it, you even told me, hey, we got to find a way to do this. And I'm like, well, you know.
So a little bit of backstory on that. When Paul started doing the Be or Not the Be, I've been in radio for 40 years.
Right.
Coming up with funny names for things. Porcelli's Deli, right? And we did rapid fire trivia, and we had the missing ingredient. Remember the missing ingredient?
Oh, yeah.
We had all these fun things. And I didn't think of the Be or Not the Be, so I hated Paul Kurtman for like 5 minutes. Why did I think that? Jerk Paul Kurtman thought of it. And I'm kidding, of course, and I couldn't hate Paul Kurtman. Nobody can. So that's why I didn't want to do it, because I don't want to steal. I'm not a stealer. I'm not a feature stealer.
No.
So somebody else stole it. We're stealing it back.
That's ours.
And by the way, the other people that do it, they suck at it.
They do.
That's all I want to say.
We listen. We
suck
listen
at it.
One
all right.
time.
Our contestant today is Marty. Hi, Marty. Marty.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for letting me humiliate myself.
No,
Awesome.
Come on. Piece of cake. Here's why you don't have to get humiliated. The answer is the Be or Not the Be. You can think out loud,
Absolutely.
is that really a headline? Or is that fake? You can say all that out loud. But your final answer has to be just the Be or Not the Be. Are you ready, Marty?
I am ready. Can I say good morning to my beautiful wife, Bonnie?
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you have an Allman Brothers Band song we can play for her?
Is there a Bonnie? Well, no, I'm not an Allman Brothers fan. Uh-oh.
Marty?
Probably neither is she.
Marty?
Although I did like the Cars song. That was good.
Yeah.
Play that when I leave.
Images that
All
come
right,
in your mind when you hear Moving in Stereo, right?
That's a great song. Good opening riff. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to the Marty and Ken Show.
All right.
We're going to give you a headline, Marty. Tell us if it's the Be or Not the Be. Here we go. Headline number 1. Man erases entire year worth of exercise in one meal.
Oh, that's got to be the B.
That is the B. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. Headline. That was Thanksgiving, by the way. When you work all year and you exercise and everything, and Thanksgiving you eat half a turkey.
And you get rid of it all on Thanksgiving.
Right. And then you fall asleep to make it worse. Right. You don't even go walk. All right.
Exactly.
Marty, headline number 2. President that just gave Hamas $100 million denounces Elon Musk as anti-Semite.
Oh, that's not the B. That has got to be the truth.
No, that is the B. Yeah, that's the B.
But there's
well,
truth
nothing
to that.
surprises me with this president. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Exactly right, Marty. Next headline. Journalist condemns Little Leaguer for wearing 12% blackface because he had the black tint under his eyes.
I was laughing too.
No laughing.
Well, that's hard to get over because it could go either way. So I will say that's not the B.
That is the B. You're down 2-1 here, Marty.
Humiliate yourself.
No.
That's how. But Vic, that's how we talked about it. The journalism today, you just don't know.
And that's the beauty of this feature.
Yeah.
Is
Of this game.
the ridiculous headlines you hear. Some of them are actually real ridiculous headlines. All right, Marty. Next.
I know.
Next. Shut up, Marty. Next headline. Don't do unto others what we would have done to them.
I'm striking out here. I think that is not the B.
That is not the B.
Yeah.
Well done. That's actually a headline, which we're going
right.
to talk about later
All
on an
right.
article by the great Victor Davis Hanson.
Yeah.
Which he lays
Good
out.
man. I love listening to him.
Well, wait till you hear the story today. I mean, he always does that. He nails absolutely everything. Okay, and
smart man.
here we go, Marty, for the win. Hamas awarded Nobel Peace Prize for releasing a few of the children they kidnapped.
That's not the B. I'm sorry. That's the B.
That is the B. Congratulations, Marty. You are a winner. You win.
I would not put that past our media.
You win this green pen, which came from Bank of Washington. Where did these pens come from?
Yeah, Bay Washington.
Washington, Missouri. Oh,
yeah.
Stell, right?
Right,
Is that
right,
what-
I know the. Yeah, we're familiar with the Bank of Washington.
There you go. Now you got a pen that says Bank of Washington on it.
And one of these days, Vic, we may have T-shirts to give away for the Vic. Like
Hey,
Vic
we'll
had
get there.
T-shirts.
No rush,
we'll
man.
get there.
That would be great.
And we'll have you
That
do it
would be
again.
fun. I would wear it proudly.
The great thing about this station is we have people who call, play just to have fun with us.
That's exactly right.
And you don't do a game show on the radio for the prizes. You do it for people that want to play in the car.
That's right.
All right.
Exactly.
Marty.
One quick thing.
Yes, Marty.
Bonnie was complaining the other day about stuff on the politics, and we're going for a walk, and I turn and say, "Okay, Jessica."
Hey, she's a legend. You don't even know what her voice sounds like. That's what's crazy.
Well,
Exactly.
well, hello to Bonnie.
Will do. She's listening, guys. I guarantee you.
Hi, Bonnie. How you doing? We got to get a song for you. Ken already played one for my wife this morning. He played Jessica by the Allman Brothers Band. It's always for my wife. Anytime you hear Jessica by the Allman Brothers Band, anywhere in life, on the radio or not, it's for my wife. Marty, have a great day.
Absolutely.
Always great to hear from you, my
You too,
friend.
guys. Have
All right.
fun.
Hey, see you, Marty.
Talk to
All
you
right.
later.
That's all the time we have for the B or not the B.
The B or not the B.
Bzzz. How's that? Is that good? Is that
Yeah.
B enough
Look
for
out,
you?
Jim. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
We saw Jim yesterday. He's got all these welts and red
No,
marks on
it's
his face. I don't
crazy.
know why.
You
How
should
that
stop
happened.
that. You might like it, though.
Hey. So, Marty pulled it out. I didn't think he was going to pull it out, but he pulled it out.
He did barely, yeah.
So he wins a Bank of Washington pen.
So just
All right.
come up and get it. Hey, we're easier to get to right now.
Yeah. Where are we, Ken?
We're in West County.
What's that word?
West County.
Second word? What did he say?
West County.
I don't know what you're saying. Is that guy still on the phone? He hang up or did he?
I don't know. Want to get a chance?
You want to put him on? Let's see. This could be great. Hold on to your hats. We have no idea who this is. Hi, good morning. Welcome to News Talk STL. Did you have a question about where we are? Let's see. Did you say he was an old man?
Well, I mean, he could have been. He seemed like he couldn't hear me.
I hope he didn't die of old age waiting on hold for us.
I don't know, but he 4 times. 4, and I was I not being nice?
No, Ken, you were being incredibly polite.
I said county. He said country. I'm not sure if I know where West Country is.
We're in West Country because that phrase happens all the time in St. Louis. Hear people say West Country.
Right.
God.
I didn't know what to say.
I'm not making fun of the guy.
No.
I'm just saying, okay, so let's if somebody does call and say, hey, where are you guys now? Let's say by Westport.
Okay. He'll say West what?
Port? West Court?
West Court? Snort?
No,
Wart?
don't talk
West
about
Wart?
Hunter
West
like
Wart?
that. Okay, listen, let's get out. Rest of the way today, Mark Harder, Vice Chair of the St. Louis County Council. You'll know when is here when the fanfare by the trumpeters happens. Kate Uptergrove, Managing Editor of West Newsmagazine and Mid-Rivers Newsmagazine. They got to be getting close to their big Christmas issue, right? We're at the end of November here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sugar Plum Fairy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Up in St. Charles. I wonder what happened to that girl. Lost her job for smoking dope.
And now it's legal.
Now it's legal. I don't know if she just doesn't want to do it anymore or anything, but I would.
She was great, man. I remember my daughters we took my daughters out there, and they just said, whatever we do, we need to get her card, no matter what.
Yes.
Very popular.
Tim Jones, former Speaker of the House, and our current afternoon guy, 10:05. Coming up next, Major League Baseball is bringing the All-Star Game back to Atlanta after they screwed them completely. Mike Hill from the National Center for Public Policy Research and our great friends Project 21. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
The name's Francis Sawyer, but everybody calls me Psycho. Any of you guys call me Francis, and I'll kill you. And I don't like nobody touching my stuff. Just keep your meat hooks off. If I catch any of you guys in my stuff, I'll kill you.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com.
Anybody touches me, I kill you.
Yeah.
We had to leave some of that out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did we punk out on that?
No, I don't think so.
So listen, firearms, very important to have, especially these days, because you never know when something's going to happen. At my home, if anybody tries to break into my house, if I hear somebody trying to break down the front door, I have this secret little thing. It looks like furniture, but it actually holds a gun. It's really cool. It's like a fake shelf underneath. It doesn't slide out. It kind of drops down.
Nice.
And that's where the firearm is. And, you know, it makes me feel better that I can protect my wife, right? And my kids and my dogs and my house and my property. It's the Second Amendment. That's what it was made for. Not to mention this state is a state where they say, yes, do that, okay? Stand your ground state. So stand your ground. Go to Southern Armory. Get yourself a firearm. If you've never had a firearm ever, don't be afraid, you know, especially if you go to Southern Armory, because they're not going to make you feel ignorant. I don't want to say stupid, but they're not going to make you feel ignorant about firearms. They'll teach you about firearms. So go there today. They're at 9901 Watson Road. You can get them also on the phone, 314-965-4867. While you're there, take a look at the Wise Food Buckets, a 25-year shelf life on food. Never know when you may need that. SouthernArmory.com, SouthernArmory.com.
Lumbo and Katie.
On Wednesday, we'll get the latest details on the issue of refugees coming to the St. Louis area when we talk to Rodney Boyd at 2:20. Then we'll have some fun and open Close's cabinet at 3:05.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Now Mike has done it again with his My Slippers, and the folks at My Pillow are having an early Christmas slipper sale. The original My Slippers regular price is $139.98, but for a very limited time, they're offering these slippers for just $39.98. They come in a variety of sizes and colors. Use a promo code ONFIRE at mypillow.com or call 1-800-645-1392. The My Slippers are designed to be worn indoor and out. They are made with My Pillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue. Plus, they feature quality suede leather. Unlock this special offer and other savings by using the promo code ONFIRE at mypillow.com. Once again, that number is 800-645-1392, 888-645-1392, or you can go to mypillow.com, use a promo code ONFIRE, and get your special discount today.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Our good friend Congressman Eric Burleson.
We're now under impeachment inquiry. We're moving towards the efforts to be able to get the Biden's bank records. I think that we have now enough evidence to win that over to court. It's going to probably take 2 to 3 months. If I had to predict, I think that we will be impeaching Biden by spring.
Wow.
That's where things are headed.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on NewstalkSTL. Sundays at 5 on NewstalkSTL.
That's what happens if you're a Republican and you're accused of lying to the FBI.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
What does the FBI do? The FBI lies to Congress. The Attorney General lies to Congress. The Director of Homeland Security lies to Congress. And then what happens? Nothing happens.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
Because as we all know now, the FBI, the DOJ have become nothing more than the enforcement arm of the leftist government.
Sundays at 5 on NewstalkSTL. If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
The far left wants to destroy conservative values in America.
This is NewstalkSTL. Welcome home. This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
You're listening to the Missouri Broadcasters Association Air Talent of the Year. This is the Vic Porcelli Show.
And congratulations to Ken for winning that award.
And Vic, you too.
Good morning. Welcome home to 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That is award-winning Ken Williams over there. Joining us right now is Mike Hill from the National Center for Public Policy Research and, of course, the great Project 21. Mike, welcome to the show. I think we've spoken before, so let me say welcome back to the show. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Vic. Yeah, it's been a little while, but I have been on your show before.
Okay, I knew it. So let's go back in time a little bit. Right, Atlanta is scheduled to host the All-Star Game, and Stacey Abrams and people are like, oh, our voting laws here in Georgia are just racist, and they don't let black people vote, right? They made it sound like, oh, you're black? Get out of here. You can't vote. Go home, right? So they take the All-Star Game away from Atlanta. By doing that, take away money from small businesses that would certainly have made lots of money during the All-Star Game. They move it to Colorado where there's nothing but white people. And now I guess they've changed their ways. What's the update on that?
Yeah, the Major League Baseball has decided now that Georgia's voting law, which made voting more fair, more secure by getting rid of this ballot harvesting nonsense, that's where one person can go gather a bunch of ballots and then stuff them in a ballot box somewhere or take them to the supervisor of elections office. Meantime, the ballots that they gather, those that they suspect did not vote the way they wanted, they could just trash them. So getting rid of ballot harvesting was a good thing. It made our elections more secure. And so Stacey Abrams pressured Major League Baseball to say that's racist, which is really stupid. I don't know why they think that simply because you're making an election more secure that it's racist, because it doesn't. And so Major League Baseball made the mistake of listening to Abrams and others on the left and got politically involved. Major League Baseball got politically involved and said, okay, we're taking our All-Star Game away from Atlanta. Now they've decided they want to bring it back. And I suspect what happened, Vic, is that they realized they lost a lot of money when they did that. And they can make that money back or make a lot of money by bringing it back to Atlanta. That's why they did it. And because they found out that the ballot harvesting law signed by Governor Kemp was indeed not racist.
You know what? Can I put this into just simple terms, okay? Stacey Abrams and the left said, hey, we shouldn't have the all-star game here because the voting here in Georgia, we can't cheat. So we don't want that anymore. We want to be able to cheat.
Exactly right.
I hate this. I'm so simplistic about it, but that's basically it.
That's the truth. Exactly. It was a method that they were using to cheat, not only in Atlanta and in Georgia, but all over the U.S., and especially in a lot of the swing states. We saw it was going on, along with the voting machines, Dominion being one of the primary ones, where we saw that the election was 2020 election was fraught with fraud. And so what they were saying is they wanted to make the statement that, no, there was no cheating being done. And so we didn't need this ballot harvesting bill because there was no cheating. They wanted to continue with that narrative that the January 6th committee was pressing, that there was no cheating, that there was this great insurrection, which we have all seen now is a complete and total lie. So they were buying all into that nonsense. They were continuing that narrative that the elections were free, they were fair, they were secure, and Trump lost legitimately. And so they were. This was a continuation of that. But you're right. What it boiled down to was you are preventing us from cheating, and that's not fair. In fact, it's racist. And that is their backstop with anything. If there's nothing else that'll work, they can simply yell, it's racist.
Yep.
And that's supposed to freeze everyone.
We're talking to Mike Hill from Project 21 and the National Center for Public Policy Research. Before the J6, I think my chronology is right here, Mike, but correct me if I'm wrong. Before the J6 thing, the George Floyd thing happened, right? And then the whole Black Lives Matter movement started. They picked this nice little, Black Lives Matter. That sounds so sweet. And it turns out they're a Marxist organization. But during all those riots and everything, it was hard to say anything a black leader said. It was tough to disagree with them, or you'd be a racist. You'd be Derek Chauvin, right?
That's right. That's right. When you look at the evidence, and poor Derek Chauvin, I mean, the guy was put in prison, a sham trial, where the other day he was stabbed, critically injured, and the whole time they knew that George Floyd died from a drug overdose, that it was not because of the proper procedure that policeman used of holding them down, not only to protect themselves, but also to protect others, including the policeman, that you're supposed to hold them on the ground like that. When the ambulance came, George Floyd was alive. They picked him up, put him on a gurney. He was alive. Put him in the ambulance. He was alive. If you die from suffocation, it doesn't happen later.
Right.
It happens right
Oh, my
there.
God. Ken, what a point. You die. You don't die of asphyxiation 5 minutes later. You die right there. God, what
That's
a great
an amazing point. Yeah.
Great point. And from what I heard, because I watched this, I didn't want to get into all into this today because we've been diving deep into this all week. But the oxygen tube in the ambulance was not connected to the oxygen thing.
Right.
So, I mean, Derek Chauvin was the least of the problems that George Floyd had that day.
Right. That's right. But you're right. And so based on all that, now the left says here is an opportunity. What does Rahm Emanuel say? Never let a crisis go to waste.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they funded Black Lives Matter and Antifa to go and burn down cities. It was amazing. Billions of dollars in damage that they burned down these cities all across the U.S. And so all of that, you're right, was a backdrop to now coming up to the election. And COVID also played a factor into that, where they were saying, we're going to change the rules now. COVID's given us this opportunity. You don't have to go vote in person. You can just vote by ballot. We'll send this ballot to you. And dead people were voting, and the ballots were being sent in. And it was an utter mess. but it was an opportunity for those on the left to cheat, and they took that opportunity to the nth degree. They ran with it, and we see the results now. We have a demented president who was installed. He and his regime are wreaking havoc not only on just the United States, but around the world. The world's on fire right now because of the poor leadership coming out of this Biden regime.
And Mike, do you think we've got an election coming up in November 2024? Do you think that they're going to try any of these shenanigans that they pulled last time?
Well, of course they're going to try. That's the only way they have an opportunity to win. They have to. So yes, they're going. And here's the thing: they're going to say it's almost like they thumb their nose at you. They say, "Yeah, we're going to do it," and what are you going to do about it? They did it in Georgia with the senator's election. They did it in Arizona with the governor's election. Yeah. Everyone knows that you could see Carrie Lake was a big scam, that she didn't win that election. And they're like, well, what are you going to do about it? Go ahead, sue if you want to. And these judges go, you don't have standing. Get out of my court. It's ridiculous.
You know what,
yes,
Mike?
They're going to do it again.
Yeah, we during leading up to the 2022 elections, Ken and I would not allow any guest to say red wave or red tsunami. Not because we thought that the candidates weren't good. We did it because we knew they would cheat. And somebody a little bit higher up the hierarchy of conservative broadcasting needs to say that out loud and get that narrative going, because that's another problem Republicans have. They can't carry a narrative.
That's right. And here's the other thing. We have a Republican candidate right now from my state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, who declared and claimed that the elections in Florida were fair, they were secure, and they were run efficiently. And that's what he ran on for his reelection, and won his reelection as governor, not based just on that, but that was one of his talking points. And he is sticking to that to this day, when in fact it was not. There was a lot of irregularities that happened in Florida, not as much as in other states, but it did happen. And so you're right, this whole idea of a red wave taking place did not happen because cheating took place. And you're right, Ken, Vic, that they need to bring that out and just say it, that there was widespread cheating being done. Even if it means you're going to be crucified by the media, those on the left, you still say the truth. Yep. And that's what needs to be done.
Yep. We're talking to Mike Hill from Project 21 and the National Center for Public Policy Research. We're running out of time here, Mike, and I want to get a couple of things in very quickly if we can, because you mentioned a word that I heard during the 2020 election, that there was no evidence of widespread voter fraud. And I said to my wife, I said, why does a problem have to be widespread? I think if there's one instance of voter fraud, stop the election and start again.
That's right. It's voter fraud if one person commits fraud.
Right.
It doesn't have to be enough to overturn the election.
Right.
It's fraud.
That's right. So another thing that the Democrats said, right? And because, okay, we all know, this is not some revelation that nobody said before, but the left, along with their partners, the left-wing media, they pick out these phrases, and that's the narrative, and then everybody says it. Mike, I mean exactly word for word. And what was the big talk about the 2020 election? Oh, it was the most secure election in history. Wow, they went way, way over the top on that one, and that should have been a red flag for anybody on the other side.
Oh, absolutely. But you're right. Those on the right did not push back, and if they did, well, let me take that back. There were some who did. Mike Lindell is probably one of the biggest examples. But now we see those who also pushed back, that the left went after them with a vengeance. And I'm talking about, who was the lawyer who said she was working on his campaign?
Sidney Powell?
What's her name? Yeah, Sidney Powell and Ellis.
Lynn Wood?
They say, okay, we're coming after you too.
Yeah, they never released
and
the
you
Kraken.
know it's a sham. but they're saying either you go along with the narrative or we're coming after you.
Yep.
And so that sets it up for 2024. Keep your mouth shut or we're coming after you too.
Right on. All right, Mike Hill from Project 21 and the National Center for Public Policy Research. Mike, are you on social media? Can we look at some stuff that you've written?
No, not really. I left Facebook and Twitter
Okay, that's smart.
after the elections, the cheating elections. I left them then, said forget it. So, no, I'm not there, but I can be reached at Mike Hill Conservative @gmail.com.
Perfect.
That's where I can be reached.
And you can find yourself on, we can find some of the stuff on you also on Project 21 site, which is connected to the nationalcenter.org. All right, Mike, thanks so much. Hey, let's not let so much time in between the next time we talk, okay?
Yeah, I'd love it. Oh, by the way, Vic, if I can put this in real quick.
Yeah.
I lived in Italy for almost 5 years. My father was active duty Air Force. And the correct pronunciation of your last name should be Porcelli.
I know. Can I tell you why? There's a reason, okay? My grandfather came here from Italy, and Italians were, on just like any other ethnicity. Right. So he made it the pronunciation so it sounded less Italian, so less people would discriminate against him because he was Italian, because Italians got discriminated against like any other ethnicity. So that's the reason, wise ass, okay? So do you speak Italian? Tell me you speak Italian.
Sì, io parlo poco Italiano.
Oh, my God. All right, Mike, pleasure to talk to you again. Let's do it soon, okay?
Okay, thanks, Vic. Take care.
I can't change it now, Ken. It's too late. I can't change it.
No, you shouldn't.
I can't.
Porcelli's Deli.
Doesn't have the same ring.
No.
Even though Porcelli sounds pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
All right, Speaker Tim Jones coming up next. First thing of the next hour, 10:05. Town Hall News is next on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
As winter approaches and we keep our energy-efficient homes closed, we are exposed to many different chemicals, molds, dust, virus, and bacteria floating throughout the air. Hi, I'm Everett Jones, owner of Jones Air and Water. Since 1995, Jones Air and Water has helped many breathe better and reduce allergens in their home and business. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit joneswater.com for more info. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water on the web at joneswater.com.
Getting a new floor for your home can be intimidating and a little scary, but that's not the case when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Katie here, and my mom and dad used Michael's, and they had a great experience. They've been a locally owned and operated family business for more than 30 years. You want variety? Michael's has carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, natural stone, and many other options. Shop in-store at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Dardine Prairie, or St. Peters. Check out everything that Michael's has to offer at igotfloored.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Today marks day 6 of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, and the U.S. is involved in talks aimed at extending the truce beyond today's scheduled expiration.
CIA Director Bill Burns is in the region where he is carrying out, like we've seen over the last several weeks, highly sensitive negotiations. He sort of served as a pivotal back channel with the Israelis, with some other regional partners, and he's trying to find ways of extending the the temporary truce.
Correspondent Zeke Miller says a dozen more hostages were released by Hamas overnight, while Israel freed 30 Palestinian prisoners. Another 10 hostages expected to be released today. There were 6 people on board the U.S. military Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft that crashed in the ocean off southern Japan. The body of one crew member and some debris has been recovered, according to the Japanese Coast Guard, which says a search and rescue operation is ongoing. The 6-week auto workers strike cost General Motors a bundle, GM's pre-tax earnings taking a $1.1 billion hit this year.
Despite the financial setback, the company expects to absorb the cost of a new contract and is even raising its dividend. The Detroit automaker has reinstated its full-year earnings forecast that was withdrawn during the United Auto Workers strike that ended at GM on October 30th. The company now predicts full-year net income of $9.1 to $9.7 billion, down from its pre-strike outlook.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Robust consumer spending fueled U.S. economic growth in the third quarter. The economy expanded at a brisk 5.2% annual rate July through September, according to the government. Watching Wall Street, the Dow's 62 points higher. The Nasdaq is up 61 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit, 800-858-1199. That's 800-858-1199.
Stop overpaying for wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk saves the average family about $1,000 a year on the most dependable 5G network in the U.S. You can get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of high-speed data for just $30 a month. If you're ready to cut your wireless bill in half, dial pound 250 and say keyword spend less, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say spend less, and make the switch to Pure Talk today.
India launching an inquiry after...
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
What a turnaround in the forecast today. It was a chilly one yesterday, highs in the 30s. Now the mercury jumps to 60 this afternoon with sunny skies and a warmer breeze out of the west and southwest. Mild tonight, too, mostly clear down to 40 for the low. Rain shows up tomorrow, but not in time to spoil the Thursday morning rush. Scattered showers arrive midday into the afternoon. Heaviest rain is Thursday evening into the overnight. Thursday's high at 53. By the time the rain wraps up Friday morning, more than an inch across much of our area. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right. Welcome home. Welcome back. Hour number 2. Racked up and ready to go. Ready to load. What does he say? Lock and load. Ready on the right. And by the way, I hope you're listening to Larry Connors every night at 6 o'clock. Man, that show is just absolutely awesome. Larry's just gone away. I mean, do I have to tell you what a great journalist he is? He's just got a way to tell you a story and get you so sucked into the story that you can't stop listening. If you're in your driveway, you'll stop and you won't go into your house until Larry's done with the current story. He's just that good. Okay, coming up this hour, Mark Harder, Vice Chair of the St. Louis County Council. That's at 10:41. Kate Uptergrove, Managing Editor of West Newsmagazine and Mid-Rivers Newsmagazine. And supposed to be talking to Tim Jones. I just thought, he might be on that thing with Arps, right? That special trip he's on. Anyway, one of the things I want to talk to him about is, I think he's on that trip with Chris. Yeah. Can't be bothered with us. So Victor Davis Hanson, if you watch not just Fox. I mean, he's on Newsmax. He's on all the stations. He's from the Hoover Institute. And this guy is so smart and so good at telling you what's going on. All right. He's got an article right now called "Don't Do Unto Others What We Have Done to Them?" ? It's important that's spoken like a question. He talks about the left, right? He says, once more, it gets even creepier how the projectionist left is daily still shrieking about impending Trump revenge and rage, or about Trump's purported enemies to come, and about his planned weaponization of the bureaucracies. The fear is in direct proportion to Biden's cognitive decline, sinking polls, and walls are closing in, family corruption. So the first part of that, the left is so desperate. Ken, we could have a feature every day called "The Left is So Desperate."
That, boom.
Exactly. Dot, and then every day it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's so serious, too.
But what Victor Davis Hanson is talking about here is they're so desperate, they're doing this revenge narrative, that Trump's going to come in with his revenge and his rage and put us all in jail and shoot us. And, he's worse than Hitler, so he's going to shave our heads and put us on the trains and send us to the camps. It's desperation. It really is desperation because they know that their party is crap.
It's absolute desperation because they cannot run on their track record. They can't do anything with that. And they see the polls. And you know what? Forget the polls.
Okay.
Just go on social media and start talking to people. You'll get some negatives, but you're going to get overwhelming positives about what Trump has done in the past 4 years when he was president.
Absolutely, Ken. You're right on. And if I see something on Twitter, right, like, Trump, something bad about Trump, a lib like Brooklyn Dad Defiant, right?
Yeah, right.
Or JoJo from Jersey, who I haven't seen for a while.
They're paid for.
They are.
Yeah,
they're paid operatives
paid.
by the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
So they'll put up something about Trump, and then I was like, oh, God, let's go in and let's read the replies and see what people say. And more people stick up for Trump than jump on the Orange Man bandwagon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they do it all the time. And I go on social media and I just give facts. I mean, even just, I have these memes that I've collected over the years.
Have you? You collect them? It's great.
I've got gigs worth.
Wow.
And I just go down them. I categorize them when I put them away.
Wow.
And I just have them to put back. And I don't do it to throw things in their face, but it's like facts. These are facts. Here's what happened. Here's a time. I have one as a timeline of what Trump did over the time he was president, and I give that to him, and they never show up again. They don't respond.
I'm not going to answer that guy. He's right.
Or they'll do this. This is one thing that they all do. Is once they start calling me names, I have one.
Yeah.
And they do it all the time.
What's it like to be organized? Is it fun?
It's fun.
I have to try it sometime. So Victor Davis Hanson goes on. He says, after all, who tried to wreck an administration with a 22-month-long Russian collusion fraud, suppressed a laptop with the lie it was Russian disinformation, or impeached a president for a phone call that, by the way, correctly identifying the Biden's family operation in Ukraine as utterly corrupt at the expense of U.S. interests? Who did that, Ken? Us or them?
That's exactly right.
Do we recall the Obama-Biden nexus from 2019 to 2017 and from 21 on cemented the reputation of the FBI as a partisan operation, rebooted the Pentagon as an agent for woke change, ferreted out white rage in quotes and white privilege in quotes, reinvented the DOJ as a Biden family protection service, politicized the CIA. Did you see that a CIA administration higher up after October 7th put pro-Hamas stuff on his Facebook page?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know. And this whole thing right now that's going on when the Democrats are so desperate and they're saying, you know what he's going to do? He's going to become an authoritarian. They're going to start checking on parents in schools, and they're going to start doing all these different, they're going to open up the border. No, that's all Biden. Yeah. All these things that they're saying that Trump would do, this administration, and I don't call it the Biden administration anymore, I call it the Obama-Biden administration, and they are doing everything that they claim that Trump would do if he became president again.
Yep. I put up a a reply to someone. I forget who it was, but my reply was Ed Stoit to its highest degree, because it was a bunch of bullet points. Yep, here it is. Hey, I found something.
Yay.
I don't need your organization, all right?
All right.
It's Mark Elias, the lawyer, the Democrat lib lawyer.
Yeah.
He said, let's be clear. First indication something's wrong, right?
That's the first line.
He says a vote for no labels is a vote for Trump. A vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Trump. A vote for Cornel West is a vote for Trump. A vote for Robert Kennedy is a vote for Trump. Not voting is a vote for Trump. A vote for Biden and Democrats is a vote for democracy. So I replied, Ed Stoit to the highest degree.
Yes.
Because it goes back to the desperation. They are throwing their own people to the lions. Jill Stein, sorry, don't need you. Off to the Lions you go. Cornel West, sorry, don't need you. Off to the Lions. Robert Kennedy, sorry, off to the Lions. They would throw people into an incinerator so people won't vote for them, so Biden might get the vote.
Exactly right.
And this also, Ken, to me, is in a backwards kind of a way an admission on how much they cheated in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Because if Biden's doing such a great job, what are you worried about? Everybody's going to vote for him. He's doing great.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Why do you have to tell us all this desperate stuff here?
If they truly got 81 million votes last time, if they truly are doing so much for the American people this time, they would be sitting back saying, "Oh no,
we're good.
Those crazy Republicans, let them do what they're doing.
Those MAGA extremists,
they're
don't
just
you
crazy.
worry about
We've
them."
got this thing locked down." Because this time, Vic, I believe they think, and of course it's not going to be perfect, but I do believe that we are going to be focusing closer on corruption and voter fraud, or not voter fraud, election fraud. I believe we're going to be at least looking at it closer now. And if those things like putting things up on the windows to stop people from seeing, that should be stopped right away. Not a day later. That should be stopped within the hour.
Ken, you know I love you. Do you have any proof of that?
Of what?
That they're actually going to stop people from putting boards
No,
up on things?
no.
That they're going to not say there was a water main break or a truck comes with tens of thousands of ballots all for Joe Biden.
You're being too real. I don't
cameras
understand.
are going to go out in Nevada. They run 24/7. Oopsie! On election day, they all go. You have any proof of that? I agree with what you're saying, but I don't trust them to do what they're supposed to be doing.
I don't either.
Or I wouldn't call her Ronald McDonald.
I don't either.
Get some RNC people on the phone next week. Okay?
Are you going to go scathing over them?
You bet your ass.
Okay.
Well, no. I mean, I don't want to hit them so bad that they never come back.
Right.
But they have to understand it's for the greater good.
It is for the greater good.
And you got to take a bullet once in a while, and we are the bullets.
Okay. No, I will. Next week I'll try for next week.
Doesn't have to be whenever.
Well, yeah.
But somebody's got to answer to this, okay?
Yeah.
And what we're going to do in advance of that, in preparation of that, is every single thing that you and I believe was shady and shifty during the 2020 election and the 2022 midterms. And then I want an answer for every single one of these things on our list.
Yeah. Arizona was brought up by you and Mike earlier.
Yeah.
That was horrible what happened in that gubernatorial race.
Yeah.
Because there were people, there were lines of people, Vic, blocks long that were told, well, we've got we got a problem. We're not going to be able to have you vote for at least 3 or 4 more hours. And everybody left. All these, and I will tell you, they were Kerry Lake voters.
Yeah.
They all left.
We had Kerry on. When we had Kerry Lake on, I said to her, if you remember, Ken, I said, Kerry, do I call you governor? What do I call you?
Right.
Because she really won,
Yeah.
She really should be the governor. All right, back to Victor Davis Hanson's thing here. You're going to love this, Ken. I know you always talk about it. What Lois Lerner, remember Lois Lerner, Ken?
Yeah.
I know she's on your hate list. Eric Holder, self-identified as Obama's wingman. Do you remember that?
Yes.
When the Attorney General of this country said, I'm Obama's wingman?
Yes, the perjuring liar, yes.
And Loretta Lynch, left undone, was taken up by Merrick Garland. What of all those things has been taken up by Merrick Garland? Nothing. Can I just say something that's very quick that really doesn't have nothing to do with this, but just a little nepotism kind of thing?
Yeah.
There's a girl right now who works on NBC News on the Today Show. She's their legal specialist or something. They talk to her about legal stuff, lawyer stuff. Her last name is Jarrett, you know?
Yeah, I know who that. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, guess who her mom is?
Who?
Valerie Jarrett.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, she's going to be completely independent.
Right. Totally not biased. She was on one morning, right? Jesse and I were watching the Today Show, and she was on talking to whoever, you know. And I said, Jarrett. I said, Jess, this girl's last name is Jarrett. And my wife, when she hears her, she dives at the keyboard and starts finding out stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So she goes, yep, Valerie Jarrett's daughter. So she has this great job. Do you remember the Clintons' daughter had a job at NBC?
Oh, yeah.
Never did anything?
Yeah, Chelsea.
But she got paid?
Yeah. She's not there anymore, is she?
No.
Well, that's because the Clintons can afford to pay for her whatever.
Right.
I think she's doing something with the Clinton Foundation or whatever it's called.
The
Clinton Global Initiative.
The Clintons had to take too much money to put contract hits on people, so they would, you know, find somebody, one of their enemies, in a quarry with a knife in their eye. Back to Victor Davis Hanson. Sorry. Does the New York Times or Joe Scarborough or any of these strange pundits raging about Trump rage to come remember how the Logan Act farce was used to destroy Michael Flynn? Do you remember the Logan Act?
Oh.
Ken, whose idea was saying that Flynn violated the Logan Act? Do you remember?
Who was it?
Joe Biden.
Was it Joe Biden?
Sure was.
But Joe Biden has nothing to do with any of the stuff going on right now.
Right. Or the foreign policy essay of Rosa Brooks, a former Obama-era Pentagon lawyer, about how to drive out Trump without waiting for the 2020 election by either impeachment, the 25th Amendment, or a military coup. All right, so we can only say so much stuff here, and more than likely nothing's going to get done because we're not reaching enough people, okay? I wish we had like 1 million followers on Rumble and on Facebook, because when is somebody going to say, hey, we tried to get Donald Trump out of office using the 25th Amendment, but nobody has done so for Joe Biden?
I don't get it.
They made Trump take a cognitive test, which he passed, and they made fun of him, you know? A cognitive test, okay, full disclosure, when I'm out somewhere and I can't remember, like, what my keys do. My wife's big thing is if you can't find your keys, that's one thing. If you can't remember what they do, that's something else, you know. And it happens at the gas station a lot. I'll turn off my car, and I'll take my keys, and I'll walk to the gas pump, and I'm like, okay, where do I put this key? Oh, no, wait. And then I look around, see if anybody saw me, and then I just pump the gas. So she gave me a cognitive test, okay? So one of the questions on the cognitive test is, Mr. Jones lives at 25 Main Street. Say that. Mr. Jones lives at 25 Main Street. And then she asked me about 2 or 3 more questions. Then she goes, where does Mr. Jones live? I'm like, oh, my God. You know, because you say it, and then you're like, okay, I got that question. You know,
Right.
She made me repeat it. I got that. You don't think about it again. But that's part of the cognitive test that Trump passed.
Yeah.
Right? And I could kick myself in the ass. And I'm going to find it, and I'm going to give it to you tomorrow to play. Tom Shalhoub and Dr. Drew. You know Dr. Drew?
Yeah.
They did a thing where it was Joe Biden's cognitive test.
Oh, no.
And and Dr. Drew. No. Listen, Joe. No. It's the truth. You know it. So Dr. Drew's asking him questions. Okay, repeat. I'm going to give you a list of words. Can you repeat them? And he says about 5 or 6 words, and Joe goes, ice cream, record player. Tom Shalhoub. Do you have him doing the record player thing?
Yeah. Right here.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Tom Shalhoub doing the record player.
Oh, no.
That's okay. But
the only thing I have from Tom.
No, look.
That's what I have.
That's fine. So the point is, who is it? Hi.
No, he's not here.
Oh. So the point is, they made Trump take a cognitive test, wanted to get rid of him with the 25th Amendment, and nobody on the Republican side of life is saying anything about that. Every day he says something stupid. All right. How about the kill Trump porn that saw celebrities, actors, and academics envisioning decapitating, stabbing, shooting, exploding, or incinerating the Orange Man? How about Anonymous's confessions about how fellow bureaucrats were trying to undermine and sabotage the operations of the Trump administration from within. Or the Pentagon's retired 4 stars calling for Trump to be removed for the sooner the better, or labeling him a Mussolini or Nazi-like figure. Who paid Twitter millions to censor the news of political opponents? You got something going on there?
No.
Okay. Who paid foreign national Christopher Steele to peddle a fake dossier to destroy the 2016 Republican candidate? Do we remember Biden's Phantom of the Opera harangue about his ultra-MAGA and semi-fascist political enemies? Do you remember that speech when he looked like Hitler?
Yes.
And he even put his hands up, his fists up like Hitler?
And the lighting was perfectly like Hitler.
This article is telling you everything that they've done that nobody talks about. Shame on us, Ken. We don't.
No, I know. And one thing you just mentioned, it reminded me of something that just happened with my wife and I last night. Where I'm talking to her, I'm kind of angry, and I'm talking about how all these people are around the world, all these different refugees are going to all the different countries around the world, and they're able, by the thousands, to get there. We have, right now, 5,000 people from Africa coming up the border, and they're going to come in.
Yeah.
What? And they're all military-age single men.
Right.
I said, and she said, well, how are they all doing that? I said, what do you mean? She said, it costs money. Who's paying for that? I'm like, whoa.
Well done, Caddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take out your frustrations on her.
No,
okay?
not on her. No, she knows.
Because I do that all the time.
I'll walk through and
my wife does it back to me. She screams at me. I scream right back at her. We're not yelling at each other.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Last couple paragraphs here. Were not the twin pillars of Biden's current foreign policy team, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Secretary of State Antony Blinken, once respectively knee-deep in the anti-Trump Alpha Bank ping hoax and the 51 intelligence authorities laptop scam. Final thing. Again, the reason the media and politicians are terrified is that they are convinced Trump would do exactly what they would do in his place.
That's key.
Right. And what they would do utterly, suddenly horrifies them.
That is totally key, because they know what how their playbook exists and what's written in it, and they know that Trump, you know what he's going to do? He's not going to do revenge. He's just going to get answers.
He's going to do just what he did.
All he's going to do is try and get answers, but that's not revenge, Vic. There's a big difference there.
How do people find this? I want people to read this. I know it was on X originally. Did I say X? I'm sorry. I know it was on Twitter originally. And Victor David Hansen is going to be at Riverport this weekend.
X.
So just look up Victor Davis. Can you help them?
I'll tell you what we can do, because I will put it on the podcast.
Perfect.
The whole thing.
You got to read the whole thing. And can we save this? Save that.
Yes.
For closer and closer to Election Day. Okay? Because I want somebody to do something about this. I can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it.
That's right.
But there's plenty of people that can. Boy,
it's a mission that we must accept, though, Vic.
Yes, we can. If we decide to accept it. By the way, this radio station will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Okay, we're going to talk about some great magazines, and you know them well. West News Magazine, Mid-Rivers News Magazine. The managing editor, Kate Uptergrove, joins us next on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
For podcast articles and more, find us on NewstalkSTL.com. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com.
The big lie is a lot of bullshit. That's what it is.
How dare you?
Now look here. I don't like that kind of talk. Now just stop it. It upsets me.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Planning a party with family, friends, maybe a business party. Cafe Napoli has 4 locations, and each has rooms to fit your needs. But a word to the wise, book early. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Cafe Napoli in Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, or right next door, Napoli C. Also get some Cafe Napoli gift cards, good for all locations, anytime. I'll see you at Cafe Napoli.
Dealing with storm damage? Don't panic. Eureka Contracting and Roofing is here to help. With the recent storms, they understand it can be overwhelming. Remember, you don't have to rush into signing with the first door-to-door salesman. Don't let pushy sales tactics force you into a contract you're not comfortable with. Before making decisions, take a moment. Give the folks at Eureka Contracting and Roofing a call like I did for a no-pressure inspection. They'll assess the damage, determine if it's insurable. If it is, they'll guide you through the insurance process, and your only out-of-pocket expense will be your deductible. Eureka Contracting and Roofing, 636-938-ROOF, eurekacontracting.com.
Tony Colombo here for Cadre Asset Management. A cadre is defined as a small group of people specially trained for a particular purpose or profession, and that is the role that Cadre Asset Management can play in your financial journey. Learn more about how they can help secure your financial future by following Cadre Asset Management on Facebook, or just go to cadreassetmgmt.com.
Cadre Asset Management is a Missouri-based independent advisory firm licensed under and securities and investment advisory services offered through Founders Financial Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
So we finally got the parts for the time machine.
Classic Kicks Country is streaming now. Hear all your new country favorites from the 90s. Streaming as it happened in the 90s. Classic Kicks. Download the Classic Kicks app from the App Store. Online at ClassicKicks.com. Or enable the Classic Kicks skill on Alexa. 90s new country streaming now.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Wednesday, Tim and Chris are live from the American Legislative Exchange Council Conference. They'll talk presidential polling with Karen Fessler and limited government with Phil Kerpen of American Commitment.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on Newstalk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, what are you going to do? Nice college boy, huh? They want to get mixed up in the family business? Huh? Now you want to gun down a police captain, what, because he slapped you in the face a little bit? Huh? What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot him a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. Come here. Mwah.
On the Vic Porcelli Show.
Sonny flies off the handle every once in a while.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. All right, welcome back. Welcome home to 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli, the great Ken Williams over there. Mark Carter, Vice Chair of the St. Louis County Council, comes by at 10:41. And right now it's time to welcome back to the show our friend Kate Uptergrove from West News Magazine and Mid Rivers News Magazine. Kate, good morning. Welcome back. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, guys. How are you?
Are we getting close to the Christmas publications or what?
Oh, they are in full swing.
Full swing.
And I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving.
We did. How about you?
Yeah.
Did you eat lots?
It was nice. Yeah, I ate plenty. I always do.
I never shy away from eating. That's for
Right.
damn sure. That's how I keep this girlish figure.
You do.
Yes, exactly. You know, what we're really looking toward is the holidays, of course, but this issue on the front is Hanukkah. So we have an article called Shining Light in the Darkness, and it's a conversation in the West with Rabbi Ave Rubenfeld, who is the co-director of the Chabad of Chesterfield. And I said that wrong because I said the CH, and you really don't. You say the Chabad of Chesterfield, but there you go. And it's a great article, I think. I wrote it. I guess I'm being a little biased here, but I think it's good to talk with folks about the celebration of light at this particular time, with everything that's going on in Israel and everything that's going on in so many places that seems dark. And he talks about light and how the Hanukkah celebration calls to celebrate that light. And one of the ways that they celebrated in Chesterfield is with this great tradition. He told me it was the 10th annual. His wife has corrected with a press release this past Monday. So in the article it says 10th annual, but it is the 11th annual car parade. And what they do is they put these lighted menorahs on all the early arrivers. I think they've got, I don't know how many of them, 50 of them, and they put them on cars. And they had 130 cars last year. And they parade and they play games as they're parading. So they flash their lights and they honk their horns as they listen along to this radio program. And people can go and watch it. It starts at Chesterfield Mall, and it will end over on Conway Road, sort of at Conway Road and Chesterfield Parkway, where the new Shabbat Center will be built. probably in 2025. They're just doing a lot of the groundwork, literally the groundwork right now. But that's a great event. And then when they get to that location on Conway Road, they will, with the help of the Monarch Fire Department, they will drop chocolate-covered gilts from 75 feet on the crowd. So there you go. So there's that article in West, and in Mid-Rivers, we talk with Rabbi Chaim Landa. He is the Shabbat leader of the Chesterfield Chabad, and he talks about the same kind of things with Tracy Bruce. He talks about light, a little bit of light can change the world for better. They have their celebration coming up also on December 10th, and this is on Main Street. So they do Hanukkah on Main Street. They'll light a big menorah in Berthold Square in historic St. Charles, and they'll have music, and the Dreidel Man's going to be there. And so it's a fun event. Both of those events, by the way, on December 10th are open to the public. So if you have any interest in learning about Hanukkah or celebrating it, if that's your prerogative, those are two great events to do so.
Fantastic. You know, we our great friend, Karen Cataline, Jewish woman who we've been talking to, I think from day one, Ken. I think like week one.
Oh, yeah.
You knew about Karen.
Yeah.
And we talk to her all the time. Obviously, we've talked to her intensely about this Israel-Hamas thing. And she's taught us a little bit about how to speak, you know, some of the words. So I just wanted to make sure we're clear on how to say Hanukkah so we say it right.
Hanukkah. You have the when you say it.
So you got it. You got the when you say it.
You do. You kind of have to, you know, because that's how his name is. Chaim's name is. You got to get that kind of phlegmy thing going.
Yeah, that's exactly what Karen says. In Yiddish, phlegm is a consonant.
Kate, listen to this, Kate.
Hanukkah. You have the when you say it.
That is correct.
Rugrats, man, that was the best. A Maccabee's got to do what a Maccabee's got to do. All right, sorry.
Right.
So, again, I ask you every time, Kate, especially when we're close to the winter, when we do Christmas in St. Charles, is the Sugar Plum Fairy, is she still active? Has she retired? What's her deal?
And, you know, you got to talk to Elizabeth over at discoverstcharles.com over at the CVB in St. Charles, because I'm not getting even an answer. I don't know why. So we'll have to
give me that again. Discovery what?
So discoverstcharles.com is the website, and Elizabeth at the CVB is the person who would be in the know.
All right. I don't know why I'm so
one of the other things that we're in the know about in this issue is in both Mid-Rivers and West, we have one of my favorite features of the year. It's On the Bookshelf, a selection of local authors with books worth gifting. And it's always fun to see what people are writing and publishing. And, you know, we have a great local publisher here called Reedy Press. They put out very beautiful coffee table books filled with lots of historic pictures. And then they publish some paperbacks, too. So Jim Merkel's got a paperback about Walking South City, a journey through historic St. Louis neighborhoods. But the Gateway Arch and illustrated timeline is just beautiful. And John Gunther did it. He's an architect, so he has a great eye for this and inside knowledge to this magnificent building, this structure, this Gateway Arch. So take a look at that. Lost Treasures of St. Louis is another one from Reedy Press that it's so fun to look back and go, oh, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh, I forgot about that restaurant. You know, it's so fun to look at those old pictures. But there's lots and lots of books in here, fiction books, nonfiction books, books for kids, all written by local people. And there's still time if you want to give a local author's book as a gift to get them. And we tell you where to go to get them as well. So I always think that's a fun article.
Fantastic. All right, Kate, how do we get the magazines?
You can pick it up at Schnucks and Deerbergs in West St. Louis County and in St. Charles County, or you can go to our website, midriversnewsmagazine.com or westnewsmagazine.com, click the subscribe button at the top of the page, fill out a short little form, and we'll be happy to mail it to you free of charge to your home address.
Fantastic. Kate, thank you so much. We'll talk again next issues, okay?
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Kate.
Ken, let's check the chat box real quick, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm going to need your help, though, because I unfortunately just opened the Rumble stream right now.
Yeah.
I don't have anything there except something from you, and it sounds like you're actually replying to someone. So
yeah.
Let's do the Facebook chat book, then we'll get over to the Rumble chat book with the assistance of the great Ken Williams. Barbara says, GMVH, America knows Trump won. Tom says, good morning, Wednesday morning. Good Wednesday morning. Scotty says, good morning, gents and fellow Vic heads. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. The Nick kid. Okay, so I made a little mistake. We were talking about Nick Sandmann with the Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah.
He was there for the March for Life event in D.C.
Oh, okay.
That's why that was their field trip. But the word, when that happened, but the word life, I'm not sure here, so I'm sorry. We're going to have to move on, Scotty. Good morning, ladies, gents, and gentle cats. So I started a new job. Hey, she's got a new job.
That's good.
Which is great, but unfortunately, I do not have free reign of my own personal radio anymore. So unfortunately, with the exception of Fridays, I can't listen in real time, so I'll have to listen to the podcast. That's great, but unfortunately, you won't be hearing from me as much with exception of Fridays. And today, because I had a pre-scheduled dentist appointment today, so she made a point to be able to,
Well, thanks, Joy.
Yeah. Scotty says, I'm in the same boat, Joy. Uh-oh. Scotty and Joy, get a room. I'm able to listen live every other day, Wednesday and Thursdays on the phone. Okay, put your schedule somewhere else, everybody. The podcast is great, but not being able to chime in and put in my 2 cents. Yeah, I get that. Dave Stouffer, happy Whooshy Wednesday, he says. He said Whooshy Wednesday.
That's good.
To all you all-American Ultra MAGA Vic heads, 418 days till the end of the error. Amy says, good morning, Vic heads. Dan Hill says, no big hairy deal for the Koch brothers. Americans for Prosperity are backing Nikki Haley. Really? Remember the 2016 election? Hillary Clinton outspent Trump by millions.
Yeah.
And the Hildebeest still got a political beatdown. He used the word Hildebeest. That's our thing.
That's it right now.
Yeah. Good morning. Okay, that's it. You got anything over there?
Yeah. We've got here it is. Ed's Toit. I pledge.
America.
You do that better. And then he says, I know it won't happen, but it would be fun to scare the Dems if every Republican and right-leaning independents would wear red for a 3-day protest against them. It would truly show the red wave, which we don't use. But
no, hey, if it happens, it happens.
I get that.
If a red wave happens, I'll be glad to get on the air and say, hey, it was a red wave.
Yeah, and then Bill Bobot, big news, federal judge orders FBI to hand over evidence in former DNC employee Seth Rich's murder case within 14 days from the Gateway Pundit.
I would love to see some sort of closure on that Seth Rich story.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely, man.
He is a guy who worked for the Democrat Party, and Hillary murdered him, basically.
Well, he got suicided.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Come on, Vic.
He suicided himself with 2 shots to the back of the head because the first shot didn't kill him.
Right.
So he had to do another one.
Yeah.
Because he's just a tough guy.
He got suicided.
Yeah. All right. Mark Carter, Vice Chair of the St. Louis.
Liar! Liar!
Calling me a liar?
No.
Okay.
Her.
All right. Mark Carter, Vice Chair of the St. Louis County Council. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
If they have to pay out $159 billion lead.
On News Talk STL. Welcome home to St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
They always have great conversation.
My news station. Where you talk about this, you never hear that kind of talk, which I haven't. 101.9 and 94.1. You guys have a great radio station. News Talk STL.
The Republican Party, City of St. Louis, extends its deepest thanks to Attorney General Andrew Bailey for the awaited report on Kim Gardner. Attorney General Bailey, in a city where every heartbeat matters, you've been the steady hand guiding us back to safety. Your persistent hard work and dogged pursuit of justice have begun to paint a new picture of hope and security in the city of St. Louis. To read the news article, full report, and executive summary, go to stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Columbo and Katie.
When it comes down to getting in the ballot box, Democratic voters vote for the Democrat.
Yeah.
Republican voters are typically more in tune with the policies of the candidates not the party in general, of the candidates. And if they don't like a candidate, they won't vote for him. But you need to understand that the team that you're going against, they're going to vote for the letter no matter what.
Tony Colombo, Katie Fitzpatrick, weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL.
Hey, Colombo here with a great offer from the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Just mention the Colombo special when you book a cleaning in November, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129 plus $50 off an air duct cleaning. We trust Zero Res because they're simply the best when it comes to cleaning any surface in your home, and they stand behind every cleaning with their gotta love it guarantee. Just remember to mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
Fox News commentary.
Rather than acknowledge their 7th grandchild, family Biden scrapped the Christmas stockings altogether. Talk about a father's love. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Jill Biden unveiled the White House Christmas decorations, and while they are beautiful, one special tradition on the mantle is noticeably missing: the Christmas stockings. If you'll recall, last year family Biden got well-deserved heat after leaving out their 7th grandchild from the stocking display. They have long chosen to ignore son Hunter's daughter Navy and her very existence. It wasn't until about 6 months ago that Joe was forced to recognize her existence, not because he wanted to, but because the optics were noticeably bad, even for Joe. But that acknowledgement was short-lived, and rather than place a stocking for little Navy at the White House, the Biden family chose to do away with all of the stockings. Jill says her decorations represent magic, wonder, and joy, but apparently that doesn't extend to her granddaughter. Merry Christmas! I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Vic. Yo, Vic.
On Newstalk STL.
Hi. Morning. Welcome home. The 1019 94.1 Newstalk STL. So now's a good time to get on the stream, because Mark Carter looks like he's the president with all the mics in front of him at a press conference, and we're going to talk to Mark here and say something.
Say something.
No, it's not working. How about that third one there?
For Newstalk STL.
Say again.
Get close.
We're at the news.
There we go. There we go.
That's
studio.
the good one.
That's the good one.
That's the one you need.
All right. So
it's the good mic. Okay, great.
Sorry we had to do this on the air, but, you know, new studio, new things. All right, are we ready?
Wow, what bass? I get bass now.
Ken, are we ready?
No.
Okay.
Okay, yes, we are.
All rise as the vice chair enters the room.
Now, you know what's weird about this is I can't read this, so.
Let me know when I can say it. Ready? All rise as the vice chair enters the room. There we go.
From the County of St. Louis.
Crime issues, economic development.
Vice Chair, St. Louis County Council. This is Mark Harder.
Mr. Big Shot with the trumpet fanfare.
That's
Good
right.
morning,
I
Mr.
love
Vice
it.
Chair. How are you?
I love it. Gotta love it. Love the new spot here. This is a great. I know this is temporary, but
yeah,
sounds real good. Sounds real
the
good on
building
outside,
closer to
too.
where you live.
Oh yeah, I was here in probably 15 minutes.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, it takes me about 20.
Yeah. No, you don't drive the way I drive, so.
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm a fast
You tell me I drive like an old man? That I should wear a hat? Old man with a hat.
Let your arm hang out the door. Yeah.
You know what? Can I admit something to everyone right here? I am not a very good driver.
You're not?
No. I hit curbs and stuff all the time.
Yeah, I've seen your car.
Back into
that.
You need curb feelers.
Anyway, I'm not a very good driver.
This car's called that.
Actually, I'm an excellent driver. Slow in the driveway. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Vice Chair, before we get into some other stuff, how was the meeting last night, yesterday afternoon? When what?
Yeah, it was yesterday afternoon meeting. It was fairly busy. We started off the day at 10 o'clock with budget meetings, our last budget meeting finally, and we met with 5 different departments, went over their budgets, talked about the future and what they anticipate on spending, and got our last look at goals and issues dealing with their budget. So it's basically up to us now to decide what the new budget will look like after talking to everybody, and we're going to present some changes to Mr. Page's budget next week, and hopefully we will get those passed here before the end of December.
So the budget, what about cuts?
That's what we're going to be talking about. Yep. So,
what kind of pushback do you expect on that?
Well, we'll get pushback. That's but basically that's what this process entails. Is that it's now in our hands. We decide what the number is, what the budget's going to be in certain departments and all departments, and then whatever gets 4 votes, that's what the new budget will be. So we'll be moving forward with those type of negotiations here real soon among other council members.
So it's so funny that Councilwoman Rita Days, who used to be the chair when this show started, she was the chair.
Mm-hmm.
You were the vice chair, actually.
I was.
And since she's no longer the chair, she has become the swing vote. She's like the bellwether county council person, right?
In some cases,
because you have you and Ernie Trachis and Dennis Hancock on one side, and then you got Shalonda Webb and Lisa Clancy and Faye Dunaway. What's her real first name?
Yeah,
Katie Kelly
Dunaway.
Kelly Dunaway. And then you got Rita Days, who usually swings the vote one way or another. So my question is, when you get to these budget cut meetings, do you know now where she stands? Or do you know what she's at least thinking?
In some regards, sometimes a lot of people wait until the very last minute till they see the number and they decide, I want to go in this direction or that direction. So I don't want to show her hand at this point. I don't know if she's fully decided on what's the new numbers are going to be. We're still working on it. So more to come. We'll know more probably next week.
I understand that it's not easy. I'm not trying to say that it's an easy process doing a budget. It never is, no matter what the business or company or organization is.
Right.
But sometimes there's just so many obvious things that you look at. And don't you think people are riding around St. Louis County saying, what a waste of money, right?
Right. Everybody's waste of money is somebody else's pet project many times. And so you got to find this balance in what is necessary, and it goes back to our own Constitution. We have to look at government. The role of government has been so distorted over the years to be everything to everybody, and we've got to go back and we got to look at what are the basics that government needs to do in our community: build roads, fix roads, provide policing, provide medical care, provide social programs. What is it that the majority of the people in this community want out of their government? And once that's decided, which is the hardest part, once that's decided, then you start, how much are we going to fund these things? And that's a decision we have every year, is saying how much money you give to this area and for this goal and this opportunity, whatever it may be. And we have to make those choices out of multiple buckets in a decreasing revenue atmosphere. So we're taking in less and less many times than what we can keep up with, and the costs of government keep going up, from roads to police to contracts and everything else. So it's this constant balancing act that we have to do every year to get to this point. So I think we're going to see some major cuts this time around. Page is pushing forward with a increase in taxes on property taxes to help balance the revenue side of the equation. And I'll be against that, of course. It's not the way we want to look at this. And but I'm going to be very much for the cuts that we're going to propose here coming up.
In every organization, there are times when we just can't afford to pay everyone that we're currently paying. It happens as low as a local merchant, right, who has 3 people working with them, but, we're going to have to let one of you go. It happens every single day in this country.
Right.
I don't want it to happen, but if it has to happen, it has to happen. Is that on the table, talking about possibly job cuts?
Well, there may be some. We don't know at this point. There may be some. We're way behind the 8 ball when it comes to hiring people. We've got a lot of openings right now, so we're having a harder time finding people than we will laying people off. So we've got a lot of retirees moving into the retiree side of their life, and when that happens, we're losing some people that have 20, 30 years of experience, and we've got to replace them with somebody that has close to 0 experience in certain areas. So it's this constant balancing act of the people coming in and going out, as we see in all businesses right now, and the government's no different.
So if somebody has been there for 30 years, their salary has increased throughout time, right?
In some cases, yes.
Not every case?
No, because we had a hiring freeze for a while. We had no raises for a while. So many times, and then we've got this huge Biden inflation right now, which is skyrocketed many salaries. So there's what's called compression, meaning our new people coming in some cases, are making more than people have been there 20, 30 years.
The reason I bring it up is because if you have people who've been there for a long time, and the money that they're making, they voluntarily retire. This way, you're not firing anybody, right? You don't have to hurt anybody's feelings. But you have younger kids coming in who aren't going to make that salary that somebody who was there 30 years is making. That's a savings, isn't it?
It is. It is to some extent. But the problem we're having, as I said, with compression is that we are offering salaries on certain skills that are close to what the people have been making for 30 years.
Oh, okay.
And so they leave, they retire, the next person comes in and replaces almost the exact same salary of that position going forward. So we're not saving much there. But with retirements, if we don't replace them, we'll save some money.
I'm not a job cut monger. I don't want people to think I'm a job cut monger, but I mean, how do you save money,
Well, one of the biggest things that I brought up last night at the meeting is that we've got to look back and look at our purchasing code. And there's been some people in our government that have been looking at this. It's sitting on Page's desk right now, and how we purchase big ticket item, like streets and sidewalks and equipment and cars and trucks and all that kind of stuff. Every purchasing issue, we've got to look at that, because we are not getting multiple bids on jobs. And when you don't get multiple bids, you pay, if you really want that job done, you're paying whatever that bid is. Right. And in the past, we would have 2, 3, 4 bids on, a mile of concrete. And so now if we're not getting those bids like we used to, whoever's the only bid sometimes is going to get their
And they know to shoot high because they're the only ones.
Could be, but they don't know it. It goes out for a bid, but the problem is we're not getting the bids we used to, and so that's added to the escalation of cost. And the materials are going up. Concrete's going up, asphalt's
That's
going
all part
up.
of inflation, right? It's all part of Bidenomics.
And so all these pressures, but competition keeps things in check.
Of course.
And when we don't have competition because maybe something's wrong with our purchasing code, then we've got to look at those issues in order to save money on these big projects. Cutting $100,000 here or $10,000 there in the size of government, yes, it's something, but we got to look at the big picture and the big ticket items, the $1 million street deals, the $1 million purchasing of equipment, things like that, the big ticket items, if we're going to make a difference in this case.
So they started the Baxter Road project.
Right.
I'm happy to announce they're starting at the most southern tip
of
Baxter
to your
Road.
home.
Right, and then going up Baxter Road. I would have been happy with just a smoother road. They're actually widening the road, it looks like.
Well, they're putting in a bike path, and a lot of the different the shoulders need to be improved. So if you're starting something, like many of these projects, you can't just do a little bit. If you're going to do it, this is a generational project. So you start to improve a lot of things, from utilities to walkways to pathways to the street itself, moving utilities, and that's where these costs escalates on many of these projects.
Boy, it sure does.
But I will say, Page is having a bad week this week, as you know. His assessment on his home was the only one in his neighborhood that went down.
Yeah.
On his own cul-de-sac. So everybody else either stayed the same or went up. And so a lot of people are buzzing on social media about that this week. And how does that happen? And why did only 2% of the people out there got a reduction in their property tax value? Everybody on my street, we all got increases. Mine went up 17%, my assessment.
Wow.
So, how does this happen?
Yeah.
That the county executives actually goes down in a multi-million-dollar neighborhood that he lives in, and all of his neighbors went up. I'm sure his neighbors are not very happy.
How does it happen?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe we need to have the county assessor on, Jake Zimmerman, and find out how that happened. But he's been interviewed, or his people have been interviewed by Elliot Davis and others about this issue and how does this happen when 97% of the people out there, their assessments went up in St. Louis County and only less than 3% went down.
Of the other peoples who went down, are there any people affiliated in any way, shape, or form with
Well, that's a
Page?
great question.
That is a great question, and somebody's going to have to take some time and do some digging and figure that out.
Never find out.
But we'll probably never find out. And but it's interesting that this happened, going forward. So he's not having a good week talking about that and some of the things we talked about yesterday with some of the contracts he's holding up right now.
Boy, I'll tell you, there's got to come a day when he can lose an election. But right now, the way the makeup is of the county, he's going to, no matter who he goes against. Oh my God, we're out of time already.
We're always
Mr.
looking
Vice
for
Chair,
good
thank you so
candidates.
much.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Great
candidates for
all
county
positions.
exec. No, don't look at me like that. All right, listen. Thanks for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Mr. Vice Chair, have a great day. Kenny, you have a great day. Dan Bongino coming up next to steal our material and play it on his show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home and whoosh.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Facts don't matter. Lies don't matter. You or I lie, we go to jail. She lies.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
It's just part of the business. President lies, it's part of his business. Joe Biden couldn't tell the truth if he could remember it. And then you got Hunter Biden, because he's a drug addict, because he's a gun criminal, because, posts pictures of himself with hookers and crack pipes and all that kind of stuff. Now that makes him somehow wonderful.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
It's obvious. The unthinkable continues. Most Americans know something very wrong is happening. People in charge keep telling you that everything's fine and to stop noticing. But you know better. That's why self-reliant folks are investing in emergency food storage. You should too. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, are the ones you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Save $200 on each 3-month food kit you purchase. My Patriot Supply also sells solar generators, gravity-powered water filters, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, heirloom seeds, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship that same day and arrive quickly on your doorstep in unmarked boxes. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. Time is running out to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. International mediators appeared to have made progress on Wednesday on extending the truce in Gaza. They're encouraging the territory's Hamas rulers to keep freeing hostages in return for the release of Palestinian prisoners and further respite from Israel's air and ground offensive. The government reports consumers spent enough to help drive the economy to a brisk 5.2% annual pace from July through September.
The government had previously estimated that the economy grew at a 4.9% annual rate last quarter. This second estimate of growth for the July to September quarter confirmed that the economy sharply accelerated from its 2.1% rate from April through June. It showed U.S. gross domestic product, the total output of goods and services, grew at its fastest quarterly rate in nearly 2 years. I'm Julie Walker.
The Japanese Coast Guard says a U.S. Air Force Osprey based in Japan crashed during a training mission off the country's southern coast, killing at least one of 8 crew members. An early blast of cold and snow shut down schools in Cleveland on Tuesday and made driving on heavily traveled Interstate 90 in northern Ohio treacherous. National Weather Service meteorologist Zach Taylor says all but one winter weather warning have expired in the Buffalo, New York area.
There is still a lake effect snow warning, and that really is just for one county, in particular Lewis County in New York, and that's valid through noon today.
A foot or more of snow had also fallen across the largely rural stretch of upstate New York east of Lake Ontario. On Wall Street, the Dow is ahead by 46 points at 35,462. The NASDAQ is ahead by 17 points. This is more on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
What a turnaround in the forecast today. It was a chilly one yesterday, highs in the 30s. Now the mercury jumps to 60 this afternoon with sunny skies and a warmer breeze out of the west and southwest. Mild tonight, too, mostly clear down to 40 for the low. Rain shows up tomorrow, but not in time to spoil the Thursday morning rush. Scattered showers arrive midday into the afternoon. Heaviest rain is Thursday evening into the overnight. Thursday's high at 53. By the time the rain wraps up Friday morning, more than an inch across much of our area. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Sheen.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at SerenityLTC.com.
Now, the Free Market Minute, brought to you by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
I'm here with Dr. Tawny Ferrarini. And Tawny, can a government actually create a monopoly?
Yes, government can create monopolies. Think about it. Through licensing, taxing one group and not others, imposing tariffs on some industries. All of these actions simply prevent goods and services from getting to consumers and small businesses at reasonable prices. Remember when, in some cities, taxi drivers lobbied for regulations that limited the number of ride-sharing services to consumers? Basically, limited competition, forced prices up, and restricted a lot of us from getting into those cabs.
The John W. Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University fosters and examines market-oriented approaches to economic and social issues. To learn more, visit hammondinstitute.org.
Hey, I'd like you to get to know Dr. Daniel Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer. Those are dentists and my dental team, along with their dental team at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. You know, whether it's economic value with their dental savings plan and their real concern about giving you value, which is, of course, quality at a great price, or whether it's their personal values, their dedication to absolute precision. I can tell you when I go in and get my treatment there, or just a cleaning, whatever, it's always, I get this feeling it's like laser-guided precision. Well, yeah, they have lasers, but they don't do that for everything, of course. It's the right tool for the right job. Whether it is dental implants, whether it's just general dentistry, cosmetic dentistry, and by the way, he can use some Botox in all the right ways for those applications as well. You'll find the greatest of care, the greatest value, delivered with people who have real values, the values we share at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Get to know them by calling 636-978-0226, 636-978-0226, or advanceddentistrynow.com. That's Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL. Enable our Alexa skill.
Hello.
Hey, Alexa.
Yes, I'm listening.
Play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD